and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet.
Hi folks, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course,
Let's get
Bob.
pumped up, Brad. Today we're going to talk about how to measure and lose body fat. And we're going to talk about I'm going to talk about personally what worked for me.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're first going to talk about how to measure so you can know whether or not you're actually losing it.
Sure.
And we got a couple of different ways to do this. Body fat percentage, by the way, in the simplest form, is just the amount of the amount of fat in your body compared to everything else.
Sure.
You know, the muscles, the ligaments, the bones. So that's what we're going to try to determine is how much fat you have in your body compared to everything else.
Right.
So,
and they give some general rules. What's a healthy person have versus, you know, the average 18-year-old, the average 50-year-old, etc.
When you go online, you're going to find, we're going to show you some simple ways to do this, but when you go online, they have sites and websites that'll calculate it for you after you take the measurements.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you put your age in there. It's just really nice. I mean, it's
Right.
just a lot easier than using these charts
Right.
here.
But wait, Bob. I just saw
hi.
someone new come in.
Hi, thanks for joining us. If you are new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos on how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. And also, oh yeah, the subscription button's over there or down there. Also, if you have not yet ventured over to Facebook, please do and like us there. It's Bob and Brad, and we like to be liked, and we like you.
Yeah,
by the way.
well, we do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so we have two different ways. We've got two ends of the spectrum here, Brad, for measuring.
Sure.
Now these both are by baseline, and I put a link below. They were nice enough of them to send us some free ones, and we're actually going to later on, Brad. We're going to give away 3 of these.
Oh, cool.
On Facebook.
Yes.
It might be a week or two before I do it, but that's another reason why you want to get on Facebook.
Right.
So this is the low end. These are again both by baseline. The links are below. This is for $20, and you know if you're just going to do it a couple times on yourself, I would say this would probably be the option.
Right. It's going to give you a good ballpark figure. It's not going to be like measuring yourself in the water test, but as long as you use the same one, the measurements will be relatively consistent.
Yeah, it's spring-loaded, and it's got like a ridge here, so you can actually move it up real easy like this. Otherwise, it's kind of hard. And it'll pinch and hold on
there
like
you
that.
Go.
So
you know, and if you don't use it for that, and you're one of those handy type people, you could use it for a little vice grip.
Brad, you're off your game today. Okay, this is the higher end model. This is a baseline model. Again, made out of aluminum, and this is $250.
Whoa.
But if you do a lot of these, if you're doing these in the clinic, you'll want to get one like this.
Yes.
Because it's got a gauge on both sides, and you're going to find out why that is important when we take measurements on Brad. And it works real easy. You just put your little hand on there. I like what
That's your thumb, Bob.
Oh, my little thumb on there. I like what it came with. This little what would that be called?
I just had it.
Yeah, it helps determine that you actually are getting the correct readings. So that's 10 millimeters. That's 20. You know, it tells whether or not your meter is hitting the right numbers. We're not coming up with the name, are we?
It's right at the tip of my tongue, Bob.
All right, he'll come up to it later. All right, so there's a lot of different sites where you can take measurements from. I know there's like 7 points on one system. I think there's like even 11 points on another system. This one, the little booklet that comes along with it with both of these measures just 4 points. Sometimes, and the points they measure on women are sometimes different than the men. The important thing is that you're going to do it consistently.
Right, from one time to the other.
Right. Even the same time of day, Brad, I would do it. Like
Okay.
if you did it after breakfast, because the amount of water in your system can make a little difference.
Sure.
There's a lot of different things. They recommend taking 3 measurements at each level. They also recommend, Brad, by the way, using a pen and marking it.
Oh, right.
And then taking another measurement. Let me grab a pen real quick.
Right. Well, I might even use a Sharpie just so it's more permanent.
Sure. Well, that if you want to, keep it from time to time.
Right. Or
I'm just saying.
Go get a tattoo there, and then you haven't really.
There we go.
done well.
So with Brad today, we're going to do the bicep, tricep. They call it suprailiac area right here.
The belly fat.
Yeah, and then also we're doing right below the shoulder blade.
Right. So when he's saying 3 measurements, you'll do the measurements that he's doing now,
I'll
write them
show.
down, and average it.
Yeah. You can't do it through the clothing. You have to, and you know, the whole thing you're going to be doing is pinching and pulling. So you get some skin, you pinch it, and then you pull. All right.
Can you zoom in on that, Lonnie?
All right, come on over here, Brad. Why don't you sit down once you're
Sit down here.
Yeah. Let's start with this one. Okay, this is the less expensive one, the $20 one. Again, works fine. And I'll show you. You know, right here, the reading is on top here. There's not a reading on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and you're going to want to make sure you hit the same part on the bicep each time. So one way to do it is you could actually just take the gauge like this and put it in the crease of the elbow and put it down like that, and that's right where I'm going to pinch.
I really like that idea.
So you'd get the same one each time. And then, you know, if you're measuring 3 in a row, you might put a little mark on there so you're going to hit the same spot. So I'm going to pinch. I'm going to go a little bit above it, Brad.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then I'm going to go ahead and pinch and pull. And now I take my reading, and we're about 5 millimeters. Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt. I'm
and
just
then I do it again, 5 millimeters. And then I do it again, and obviously it should be 5 again, and it is. So pretty consistent on that one.
Okay.
So now we're going to do tricep. Same thing with the tricep. I'm going to probably mark right down here where his elbow is, and I'm going to go right up to this spot right here. And again, that makes sure we're consistent each time. You know, I'm going to put my mark there, and I'm going to pull and pinch, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my reading, which is 6 centimeters. I think I was a little higher than that last time. No, I was. I had 6.
This is go ahead. You get 6 all 3 times, Bob?
I got maybe almost 7 that time. So it was pretty close to 6 though.
This is where it's handy to have the meter on both sides of the device.
Right.
For measuring.
Right, because if you have it, you come in like this, I can't read it this way. I had to come this way. Right. So if Brad was like this and I was coming in like this, I couldn't read it. I'd have to come over here and do it.
Yeah,
so
they really should have just put that on both sides.
They could have, yeah.
But that's why this one's so nice.
Yeah. It'd be curious, Brad. Just let's take measurements with this one here. Just see if we're getting the same measurements with the more expensive one.
Yep, that's a good idea.
So yeah, this is 7. Interesting, huh?
Well, you got 1 millimeter difference.
Yeah. 7 again.
So it's a good reason if you do it with one device.
Yeah, stay with that device.
Stay with that device so you're consistent.
Yeah, this one was actually between 7 and 8 each time. So it was a little bit off.
Sure.
But again, difference between the devices.
All right.
All right, now let's go ahead.
It's a gauge block.
Gauge block?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? I knew it would come out to you before the end. So a gauge block.
Okay.
All right, now let's go ahead and do the belly here.
Oh, now wait, this is my 6-pack. Let me get it pumped up a little bit, Bob. This is a little embarrassing, but I'm going to come back.
So I would again probably, I'm going to take the machine here again, and I'm going to pick a spot. I'm going to go over this far.
It's a caliper, Bob.
Caliper. And I'm going to go all the way over to here.
So you went from my belly button?
Yep.
Okay.
The iliac is right over here.
Okay.
This is super iliac. They recommend a 45-degree angle. That's up to you. I was watching somebody who does a lot of these, and he says,
be consistent.
Be consistent, whatever you're going to do.
Sure.
So I'm going to do a 45, and so we got 12, 11, 12. Let me mark that here.
Make the mark. If you had a great big black magic marker, you could make a great big circle.
Pinch and pull. So how come I had more last time?
Oh, Bob, I don't know.
See, I was probably in a different spot.
Yeah, practice makes perfect.
No, they are about the same,
Okay.
17.
All right.
So, all right, the last one, we're going to do one right in the scapula area here. The scapula is the shoulder blade. So right in here, I'm going to probably, you know, an easy way to do is maybe just go straight out from the armpit, and I'll go from the machine here, and I'll go right to here, and pinch. Again, you can do it at a 45-degree angle if you want. And I got 15. And again, you can use a pen. 15. 15.
And I think in that one, make sure that the person's arm is in neutral, that it's here all the time, and one time not up here and one time down here.
Right, you got to pick the same spot.
Yep.
So we took Brad's numbers and we added them up, and then we looked on the chart, and he ended up being at 24.7% is what your body fat was at.
24.7% pure blubber.
It keeps you warm in the winter.
Yeah, that's all right. I think I'm gonna have to go on one of those exercise and diet protocols.
So again, the links are below. Nice instrument,
Yeah.
especially if you're going to do a lot of these on the professional basis. Okay, what are the 5 ways to lose body fat? Now, you really can't. Well, I guess this is true. You can exercise fat away to some extent. It really doesn't work to do like sit-ups or anything like that. That's spot.
Right. People think if you do sit-ups, the fat's going to come off your stomach. You don't. That's not the way it works. It's going to come off where your body tells it to come off.
Right. It's going to burn off basically to some extent. So the first one is almost an insult. Obviously, you're going to take in less calories than you burn. You know that's everybody knows that.
Right.
So
and there's a little controversy on whether it's fat calories or carb calories. We're not going to get into all that.
We're going to talk a little bit about it.
A little bit, okay.
I'm talking about things that worked for me.
Okay.
The other thing that helps is when you lift. They say lift heavy things. So when you lift heavy weights, it does burn fat faster than it does if
Versus aerobic.
Yeah. Without a doubt. And I have found that to be true in my case.
Sure.
I try to do some heavy lifting, throw it into my routine, and it's definitely taken my body fat down.
I thought you meant you were lifting a bag of salt in the rock salt.
That would do it too. That would do it. That all would work. Number 3, this one I really haven't done to a large extent. You know, if you're a runner, you want to incorporate some sprinting into your running. What I often do is finish with a sprint. Is about all I do. But they talk about actually doing sprint, jog, you know.
Intervals.
Yeah, intervals. Yep. Number 4, this is the one that has helped me the most by far, and I know this is controversial. The plant-based people are going to, scream about this. But I eat less carbs. I mean, that's all I did is I dropped my carbs, and I dropped 15 pounds. I wasn't even trying. So
I like that idea. The part about not trying and it's dropping off you.
Right.
And you're eating healthy.
And I don't measure the carbs either. I just started eating less carbs, less refined sugars, and even less fruits and stuff like that.
I really didn't even realize that sugar was considered a carb. I was thinking breads and stuff like that, and all these other things all fit into that category.
I definitely have cut out bread. I mean, I hardly eat any bread.
And actually, they cut. That's the part I don't understand is fruit. It's like you're supposed to cut down on your fruit, and I'm thinking, I don't know about that, but I think the breads and the sugars.
I did cut down on my fruit though, Brad. And I was eating a lot, and I'll tell you, it just seemed to work for me anyway.
Well, I'm definitely going to cut down
If
calories.
you want an organized system of doing, you can do the Paleo Diet.
Sure.
And I did get that book, and I follow it loosely. I don't measure food, and I don't count how many carbs I have a day. But if you want to, and he talks about some of those other things too, about lifting weights and and doing sprints and stuff.
Right.
So anyway, that's that's my opinion on what you can do to help lose weight.
And these are really nice devices here, Bob. Let me get you pinched now after.
All right, thanks for watching.